creamy and cheesy. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best baked mac and cheese. Hi, my name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my sister Carrie's kitchen. My sister Carrie and I are on a mission to teach families how to eat at home on a budget. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best mac and cheese. What I love about this recipe is that it's fancy enough for holidays. You could take it to a dinner party or a get together, but it's easy enough for a weeknight meal, and it is packed with flavor. I have linked today's recipe in the description below. Make sure you check it out. In that recipe, we have all of our tips, tricks, all the information, as well as the nutritional information on today's recipe. You can't have mac and cheese without macaroni. We're going to start with boiling 16 ounces of Elbow Macaroni noodles, about 5 minutes less than the al dente time on the back of the package. So on my package, al dente time is 6 minutes. So we are going to cook this today for 5 minutes. Now I'm using the smaller of the elbow noodles. There's large and small. I like the smaller one for our mac and cheese, but you can use the larger one or you prefer. You could also use any other hearty noodles. So when I say like a hearty noodle, I mean like rotini, penne, either of those will work. So boil water over medium-high heat and add in your macaroni. Again, we're just wanting to cook this 1 minute less than al dente. Once the pasta is done, you want to go ahead and drain it. I'm just using the strainer or colander, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to rinse it with cold water just to stop the cooking process. Because if we overcook it now, it's going to be too mushy when we bake it. So I just take cold water and rinse it really well. You can use your hands to make sure it gets all around the pasta as well. Just be careful because that pasta is going to be warm. The rest of this we're going to make on the stove before we bake it. But before we go over there, I want to get all of our cheese shredded and ready to go. So I am using this cheese shredder from Amazon. It's linked in the description below. It's awesome. What's really great is it has a lock, and it locks right to the countertop like that. So then it stays really well. I love using this when I have a lot of cheese to shred. For this recipe, we are going to use 4 cups of shredded cheddar cheese and 2 cups of shredded Gruyere. Did I say it right? Gruyere cheese? I'm not sure. It's a fancy cheese. It's amazing. It adds a lot of flavor. You should find it in the cheese section at your grocery store. If you don't, you can use any soft white cheese. Mozzarella is a good substitution. It doesn't taste quite as well, but it will work in a bun. So you just hold the cheese in and shred it until you can't hold it anymore, and then I put the little stopper on and it shreds it right away. So easy. Now on the shredded cheese, we need about 4 cups. I'm going to measure it out just to make sure we have enough, and then I'll save the rest. I'm using these large Pyrex measuring cups, which is awesome because they have 4 cups, and then we'll have a 2 cup we'll use as well. So it makes it really easy, and then I can store it by the stovetop, and it's just ready to pour in when I'm ready. Perfect! Now I'm a big believer that you got to sample it to make sure it's not poisonous. So let's take care of that real quick. Amazing. We're just going to do the same thing with the Gruyere cheese. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm from Oklahoma. Give me grace, okay? So on this one, you only need about 2 cups. But this is baked mac and cheese, so we do need a lot of cheese. This is not a time to get healthy. Just put it in there. It's going to taste amazing, and I promise it's going to be great. We need 2 cups of this one, so I'm going to do the same thing and measure it out in the 2-cup Pyrex measuring cup. Now, generally about 8 ounces of cheese will yield about 2 cups shredded, but I always like to measure it out just to make sure, and that looks perfect. Okay, now we're going to get to the stovetop to get it all combined. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Melt the butter. We're going to melt 6 tablespoons of butter in the same pan that we boiled the noodles in. So I just gently stir it until it's fully melted. Add in 6 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to whisk this together to create a roux. So you want it to cook for about a minute. until it's thickened. Now we're going to add in 2 cups whole milk and whisk that in with the butter and flour mixture. Add in 1 cup heavy cream and whisk it in. Now we're going to bring this mixture to a low boil. You want to watch it closely because dairy can quickly overboil. So don't leave it on the stovetop. Just hang out here and watch it until you start to see little bubbles in the mixture. That's what we mean by a low boil. So this is what a low boil looks like. You can just see small bubbles in the mixture. And the minute you see this, you want to start whisking it, and we're going to whisk it constantly for about 2 minutes. So now just whisk it for a few minutes until it starts to thicken, and mine is already thickening up pretty quickly. Once it's nice and thickened, we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then a whole teaspoon of salt. Whisk these all in to get it thoroughly combined, and then once it's well mixed in and nice and thick, go ahead and remove this whole pot from the heat, and I just take it over and move it to a burner that's been off. Once it's removed from heat, we're going to stir in the shredded cheese about 1 cup at a time. The heat from the sauce should melt it. You don't want to leave it on heat because you'll risk burning it. So you just stir it in until it's incorporated, and then we will continue adding in the cheese until it's all added and melted through. So all the shredded cheese has been added. Now we're going to add in that shredded Gruyere cheese, and we're just going to do the same thing. Now, if you're feeling brave and you got a strong arm, you can just dump it all in there and get to stirring. I just don't have that strong of an arm, and I want it nice and smooth, so I just do a little bit at a time. But I was talking to my sister off the live, and she said I would just dump that all in and mix it up. So it's completely your call on that. Now it's time to add the pasta. So the pasta should be plenty cooled by now. We're just going to add it right into that cheese sauce and stir to make sure the pasta is completely coated in all of the sauce. My pan's still a little bit hot, so I'm going to hold it still with the pot holder and stir it here. So if it's super thick, like my cheese sauce got pretty thick, it's okay because we're going to bake it and it's going to turn out fine, so don't stress. Just keep stirring until all that pasta is coated in the cheese. Choose your 9x13 pan. I'm using this glass pan today, and you can spray it with a non-cooked sticking spray. I'm going to do a spray olive oil, and that works great as well. Oops. So that one wasn't my friend, so I got a new one. And when I was getting the new one, I actually noticed it was spray avocado oil, but spray olive oil would work as well. Then you want to we're going to pour the macaroni cheese mixture here into your baking pan. And it is going to be thick, and that's perfectly fine. Oh, this is an arm workout too, guys. Cooking and working out at the same time. And then just spread it out into an even layer as much as possible. Now it's topping time. The best part about this baked mac and cheese, in my opinion, is the topping. I love a good topping. So we're going to start and melt 2 tablespoons of butter. Just get a microwave safe dish, and we're going to melt it in here. Yes, Carrie's microwave's down here in case someone asks. I just start in 30-second intervals and then keep microwaving until it's fully melted. The butter is nice and melted, and then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Now you want the grated, not shredded, so make sure you get the right one. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. Again, make sure you're using the Panko. I think it adds a nice little crisp crunch to the top of it. So you just want to stir to combine all those ingredients pretty well. Sometimes my grated Parmesan cheese clumps up and I just kind of stab it with my spoon to break it up a little bit. Then just sprinkle it over the top of the mac and cheese. Now you can do your hands if you like, or just the spoon, whatever works for you. Just evenly as possible right on top. And it's ready to bake. I'm gonna bake it for 30 minutes until it's nice and bubbly and slightly golden brown on top. Just place it in the center rack for 30 minutes. It's been cooking for about 30 minutes and it's perfect. What you want to look for is it where it's nice and golden brown and the edges are starting to bubble just like it is. So I'm going to take this out and we're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before it's ready to serve. After it's been sitting for just a few minutes, it's ready to serve. Ooh, it looks amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys try out this easy recipe. And when you do, let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We have been growing our community and having lots of fun. So make sure you join so you never miss one of our easy recipes. All right, guys, until then, I will see you guys next time in my sister's kitchen. Bye, friends.